now. I don't appear on film or in mirrors. It's different when it's digital somehow. You can see me speaking aloud, attempting to murder my own message seconds before it's ejected. Everything feels empty without a deep booming bass beat to neatly envelop my speech. Like a creeping cloud crawling on the ground, a dense and blurry fog in passing, contemporary worth forgetting. Air is invisible, as are the waves in it, unless it's filled with particulates. Asphyxiate. Oxygen is an overrated commodity. Choke on its absence if you can't afford a tank to inhale. Heavy metal treads embedded in mud. Gas masks an absolute necessity from now on. Hit every pedal and big red button. Limited edition life and time, collectible rhymes that can't acquire value, raped, necrotic, and rotten. Emerging from the shadow, an image worth hundreds of thousands of words. Snap a photograph, plot your points, do the math, lasting longer than you want it to. All the guts are on the ground when it's through, unraveled intestines, unnecessary tubes, all over the entryway and vestibule.
Hello, welcome back.
I'm Bill.
So Bill, I met you at Vulture's open mic, which is definitely a favorite spot of mine. But where are you from? Have you always been kind of floating around Colorado Springs?
I grew up in New England. Wouldn't say I really have like a hometown or anything. I kind of hopped around a bunch of towns growing up. So I eventually went to California when I was like 19 and got sick of the beach. So I came to Colorado.
Yeah, was it like Northern California beaches or Southern California beaches?
Southern California. I was like right between San Diego and LA.
Nice. My sister lived up there for a hot minute. So I've never been to like the East Coast. Like, what did you kind of do for like fun growing up, or like what kind of activities were really popular?
Well, hiking was a huge thing. Just being outside. I mean, the town I spent the most time in, we just had forests everywhere. So you could kind of walk anywhere through the forests and like avoid roads and houses and people. So that's where I stayed.
Yeah, I grew up like right outside of Yosemite, so it's like the same thing. It was just like trees for days. I had like a lake or whatever that I hung around, but it was like very seasonal, you know. So like not a lot of people would come out. I kind of like the more secluded places.
Right.
How do you feel about like the hiking out here?
I mean, I don't do it enough is one thing. It's also pretty different. You get a lot more. You get a lot more views. Back east, a lot of trees are in the way. You gotta look at the trees instead of the forest.
Yeah, I feel like it's been shown. Have you done the Garden of the Gods one?
Yep, I did that recently with my mom when she came out.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think it's a cool area. I always get like a little nervous because there's definitely a lot of people. Like it's very touristy. But so what kind of got you into writing poetry?
Going to the open mics at Vultures. I never really thought about writing poetry or anything, or doing anything creative in that sense until I just decided to wander into Vultures one night. I think it was like the week before their 4th year anniversary, and I just liked what I saw. I thought the people were cool, and I decided I wanted to grab the mic.
Was that like recently? Was that like past like year or two?
That was within this year.
Oh my gosh, I hope you don't mind. I'm like literally stunned right now because I just from like the power in like just like the kind of like language you use and how fucking good your poetry is. I was under the impression you've been writing forever. Like I'm honestly like super blown away by the fact that you just kind of recently started.
Right. I mean, I've written stuff down a long time ago, with no intention of ever like reading that stuff out loud. I've gone back and reread that. It almost kind of sounds the exact same. So I don't know if it's just the persistence and how I feel about the world or whatever. But
I think that's like honestly, like I'm super impressed. I'm stoked that you've been performing. Like every time that you do a poem, I feel like you just like take over the entire room. Like it's really easy for a lot of like like musicians and comedians to kind of fall in the background. Your shit's powerful. But do you feel like any time that you write something at home with the intention of it to be like just for you, and then you go to like perform that in front of like a crowd, do you ever feel like it changes how you look at your work when you're in front of other people?
No. I feel like I do it for me in front of other people. So, like I can scream all I want to myself in my living room, but I don't know. I just feel the need to make other people hear it.
I'm really glad that you do. I think it's really, really awesome. And I do feel like a lot of your work is like very authentic. So I could see where you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, the audience isn't gonna tell me who I am, you know?
Right.
Have you had any like reactions like after you get off the stage that have been memorable for you?
I mean, every time I do get on stage, it's weird. Sometimes people just don't pay attention at all, or they're talking over whatever I'm saying, and that's okay. I kind of just, I don't like to repeat myself, so I try to just come up with new shit to say every time I say it, so if people miss out on it, then their loss, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know both of the times that I've seen you go up, the concepts were very different, but there definitely was, you have like an edge to you. I feel like nobody's safe. Like when you get into your music, like you just go for everyone. There's like these deep intellectual cuts that I really feel like it just like, I recorded your last one, I went back and listened to it, and each time that I heard it, I felt like I was pulling more from it. Like it's really, really great shit. So do you consider yourself someone that likes to read? Because I know some poets like to like read other poetry books or like do poetry slams or whatever.
No, reading really just irritates me. I can't bring myself to focus on the words on the page. And I've had HPPD since I was like 15, so.
What's HP?
It's hallucinatory persisting perceptive disorder. It's not like diagnosed by a doctor or anything, but like I took some fake acid, and whenever I get hungry or super thirsty, I just get a lot of visual static and tracers.
Wow.
So I kind of just hallucinate in a sober state.
That is crazy. I didn't know that. Do you have like anything that you wish people kind of understood about some of those moments? Like, do you have any like certain things that you said hungry or thirsty? Are those the only times that kind of trigger the visuals?
No, I mean it's like a constant thing. It just gets stronger as I fast or dehydrate. It doesn't really affect my day-to-day life other than just being there. So don't really talk about it, or it doesn't really inhibit me from doing anything. It's just kind of there, and it's just a permanent memory of stupid decisions I made in the past.
No, I think that's like super trippy because I haven't heard of that. I know like I used to do a lot of acid like back in the day, and something that I think for me at like the peak of like my use when I was like doing it like every other week, I would notice like shadows always looked like characters to me. I kind of got stuck with that for like a little bit, but like I'd be sitting, like say I had like a candle lit or something, and then like the shadow, I would see it like change just enough, but once my brain decided that like, oh, that's a fly creature holding something, that's all I could see afterwards. So that's where I got like a lot of my early psychedelic artwork.
Right.
It was never like during the trip, right? Because you always hear about people that take like hallucinogenics to improve their artwork or get closer to music or whatever, right? I was always like way too overstimulated to actually create in the moment. It was usually like the aftermath that I would notice there would be an impact.
Right. Yeah. No, it kind of cripples you
Yeah.
through the experience, and then you get to play with whatever you get out of it.
Yeah. When you, if you don't mind me asking, totally like if any of this is too much or whatever, like we can chop or whatever. But have you had any like trips that have kind of like stuck with you, or like did you have any like intentions with your trips when you go in?
Yeah. I mean, too much really to talk about. I've taken a lot in the past. I think the first conversation I ever had with you, I was actually tripping. But, you know, yeah, I've seen noses disappear, rainbows appear on the edges of objects, like every object. Ego death.
I've heard a lot about ego death. I don't think I've ever been able to like truly experience it. What was that kind of like for you?
You just kind of forget who you are and where you came from, and it just becomes comfortable. Forget what it is to exist, and just kind of experience. I don't know how to explain it.
I feel like that definitely hits, because I'm an anxious cat. Like my mind is always at like a 10 all the fucking time, and I think a lot of it does come from like society pressure that's kind of put on us from like a young age, or like, you know, roles, or like relationship with self, where I don't know, when you said it was like forgetting all of that stuff and then having the result be like comfort, like I feel like that makes so much sense. But would you say that you're like a visual thinker when it comes to like your poetry and stuff?
I don't know. I don't put a lot of thought into it other than just writing down whatever the first thing comes to my mind for that particular moment is.
Do you think that it's like so like when it comes to like your flow state, do you think like the message comes the easiest, the cadence, the rhythm, the rhymes? Like what would you say like is the most organic part for you?
The rhymes, I guess. I don't really feel I have a message at all.
Really?
Yeah. It's just fun to rhyme words, and sometimes those words happen to have meaning, and people can take that meaning if they want for it. But I'm just trying to rhyme words for fun.
I'm honestly like kind of like blown like away a little bit, just because like when I hear your stuff, I feel like you have like I keep saying like such a powerful perspective, that like knowing that that's just like you just being like, yeah, I'm just like fucking around, is crazy to me. Like the level of talent that you have is so gnarly. I'm really glad that you started sharing. Would you ever consider like putting your books into like a poem, or poetry, putting your poems into a book?
Probably not.
No?
No, I mean, part of it is saying it out loud, and I don't want to just kind of write it down and hand it off to somebody. It feels incomplete if I do that. I feel like there's the cadence comes second. So once you have the rhyme, you need to figure out the way to say it.
I dig that. I think that's actually really cool, because I find a lot of people that go to poetry slams, like usually it's marketing for a book, right? But I'm huge on like community and connection, and that's like a huge part of why we do Rooted and everything, is to get people you know, away from like the internet, away from like their corners and stuff, and go out and connect.
Right.
And the fact that you're using your poetry as such a strong tool for connection, like to the level where you're like, it has to be through me, I think is very admirable, and I don't think it's something I hear from people. I don't think I've ever heard that from someone ever, like
Right.
to that degree. I think that's really cool.
Look, no offense to your mission here, but I don't really. I hope nobody sees this.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't like my face on the camera, and I'm here anyways. Though I appreciate you asking me to come out, and I appreciate that you like something about what I say. So
And I appreciate you coming on here, even though it's tough and it can be very vulnerable. Of the people that may see this, though, I do feel like you have a very inspiring way about you, and I feel like anyone that kind of stumbles on your character and like your perspective, I find you to be very unique. I do feel like you can definitely bring some comfort to some people out there for sure. So I'm really glad that you trust me with this, and I have to say it means a lot to me. When it comes to poetry, if say poetry is like a reflection of you, I know you say you do it for fun, but when you're reading things back, what parts of your personality do you think kind of like slip into the reflection the most?
probably a lot of bitterness and anger about the world and the way I see it.
I think that's what I kind of like about it. I feel like a lot of my music is like a lot of like fuck you energy too, because I mean it's got to go somewhere, you know.
Right.
What things do you think make you bitter, like the most, like things that you see pop up around you?
Concrete.
Concrete.
Yeah. Suburbia. I don't like society and people and roads and traffic and skyscrapers and electricity. I just want everything to shut up sometimes.
Yeah.
Go back to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle and just follow herds of deer around.
Yeah. No, there's definitely since we do kind of get stuck in like these like city areas and stuff. Do you find it important to make time to break away and connect with nature?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I don't think I do that enough, but gotta see the forest and the trees.
When you do find time to do that, do you is it ever like camping where you go for multiple days, or is it just like to break away for an hour or two?
It's usually just like an hour or two. Because I gotta plan a camping trip soon, before the fucking snow comes.
Oh yeah, for real. I've been thinking about camping a lot lately. There's just something nice about waking up and, you know, just surrounded by trees and dirt and good smells.
Right.
Maybe start a little fire pit and make some food. Like I think it's like nostalgic and calming. I really like it. It's been probably like 5 years since I've gone. So this one's like a little bit, I don't want to say it's like dark, but like if one of your poems could outlive you, what would you want it to say about the kind of person that you were?
That I wasn't important, and that nobody is important, and everything will die.
I feel like a lot of like your I can't remember which spirituality it is, but I think, is it Buddhism or like Hinduism, where they believe that like it inspires like a lot of like minimalism and kind of like acceptance of like things like not being forever and not holding on to meaning. I can't say if I remember what, but like it definitely I feel like a lot of your mentality like reminds me of like a lot of like a minimalist like ideal where it's like the importance of like the now, the experience, but not so much like the product of it, you know?
Right. All religion in general is another one of those things that just kind of hurts me about the world. I don't think if a God exists that it matters, and dedicating your life to what happens after you die just seems like some sort of sick joke.
It does seem like pretty sad, right? Because like I feel like a lot of people focus on, I will only do good if it gets me something out of it. And like that's such a selfish way to live. And then especially when you pair it with a lot of like the oppression that comes with a lot of like religious history and how it's been used to kind of limit people or condemn people or just straight up harm people. It's I could see that being super frustrating to see, like even some of the same patterns of oppression still being, you know, played out today.
Right. So even those that say they believe in it or whatever and don't practice the church, what does that matter? I don't know. They all religions irritate me.
Yeah. No, I can see that. It's definitely, it is one of those things. I feel like a lot of people like to like kind of project or like put everyone in like boxes, you know? I don't feel like it should be that way. I remember you were doing this one poem, I think it was one of the first ones that I heard, and you said this line along the lines of like, once I get over like an instrumental, like you rappers are fucking done. And hearing it exactly where it was placed in that poem that day, I was like, I fucking believe you. Like, have you ever gone over an instrumental before or considered it?
I haven't. I mean, like I said, it's been within this year that I actually even started writing anything down with the intention to have it performed. I think it'd be really cool to make music. Music is a huge inspiration to me. I love rap music, just really technical rhyme-saying rap music. So it'd be interesting to figure out a way to do that.
I honestly, like, we've been like wanting to invite you over, like maybe just for like a barbecue or something, maybe like set you up just to like let you play around on a couple beats, cause like I said, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. Like I'm sitting back going like, your shit blows me away. Like the fact that like you just started getting into doing it live and doing it more consistently, and the fact that it comes from such an authentic place that you don't, like it's not like premeditated, you know, I want to say lyricism, because to me like everything you say sounds like lyrics, like everything. Like we were sitting back playing some of your stuff, literally going, that's a bar. Like every couple lines we're like, damn, like this is crazy. I really think that you could do some crazy cool shit. Like we've been thinking about it a lot, like trying to get you over and do that. And I know we have a lot of mutual friends that make beats that I know would just go crazy for you, like whatever you wanted. But yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. But thank you so much for coming out and doing an interview. I appreciate your time and your vulnerability. And I'm really grateful. Yeah, absolutely. Hope you have a good one.
You too.
Practicing at home with a microphone I financed and a Costco brand karaoke speaker so I can manage to scream sad songs to an audience of less than one live in my living room, featuring freaks and creatures with disgustingly ugly demeanors. Mr. Misdemeanor committed a few felonies and he's still in possession of a weapon, letting him beget his actions. Answers every issue as a nail with a hammer in his hand. All along the block he got his striker fired. Loaded with 45 and no holster to hold it. Chambered and aimed at his own dick. Not wise enough to get what the threat to his manhood is. When you're forced to play the game, what they're saying is you're required to do what I say, but it's acceptable only if you consent. Fuck a beat, watch me speak off key. Call it a bad rap or a sad musical poem. If you feel the need to sing along when you get home, you probably also want your brains blown. So I ask, what's holding you back? Which instincts will kick in and overpower the other ones? Isolate, stay away from others, everybody and their mothers. Mum's the word, silent, unheard. Might be mute, no sound to spew, or talking points to regurgitate. Maybe it's weighted, heavy metal chains used as shoelaces to swim with. Cultivated chrysanthemums, lackadaisical, lying in lilacs and daisies, frolicking in poppy fields somewhere in Afghanistan. Landmines and rats trained to find them. We're in trouble with the pigs sniffing truffles. What the mushrooms become when they can't use their fruits from labors and pains. I have to ask what happens when it rains, washing itsy bitsy spiders away. Contractions happen when you can't relax. Oh dear, an elk with weapons mounted on his rack, racketeering, firing back with fraudulent business dealings. Dangerous game, how the hunt has changed. Abandon the message, leave behind what you would take, or if you can afford a portion, place it on layaway. Milling about the mileage, filling lies with white and making them little this time. Big ideas don't fit in those britches or underneath bridges, so I burnt them both. Intertwine or tear entwine, ignite fires, wonder why the flame. Lying in lilacs and daisies, flies and maggots at bay.